My name is Andy Brophy, and I'm the creator and founder of Love Gives Way. And as a full-time photographer, it became my response to fighting sex trafficking. Back in 2010, I had a chance to go to India and shoot for an organization that was fighting against sex trafficking. And I'll never forget the first day that we were there. We drove into the red light district and walked into a brothel, and specifically into this one room that was about 10 feet by 15 feet. And we stood face to face with a woman who was enslaved. And as I stood there, my back was up against this curtain, or this sheet that was around her bed. And just on the other side of that curtain was a man who was waiting to meet with her as her next client. And I'll just never forget the weight that I felt in that room and what that experience was like. After I got home from India, I was just trying to communicate to my wife and explain all these different experiences that I had while I was there in India. And she asked me if I remembered doing a senior portrait session with a local high school student about a month before I left to go to India. And towards the end of that shoot, I met his father, and he was just typical white-collar CEO, lived in this incredible home in this gated community. And my wife informed me that while I was in India, that he was arrested for purchasing a 12-year-old girl locally here, and he met up with her and her pimp at a hotel that was just miles from my house. And it was in that moment that it just became so clear that the reality of what I felt and what I experienced inside that brothel in India, I was now experiencing here in my own neighborhood. That I had experienced both sides of this in two very different places in the world. Love Gives Way became my response to sex trafficking, because I felt like, how can I go and shoot for an organization halfway across the world who's battling against it there, and yet not do something with what I shoot here at home when I know that it's right here in my own neighborhood. Love Gives Way is a community of brides and grooms who are choosing that their love gives way to the recovery and restoration of sexually exploited people. And it's using the wedding day, which is set aside as this celebration of the love and selfless commitment of one person to another, and using that to speak into what I believe is the darkest perversion of that, which is somebody stealing the love and stealing the beauty of another person for their own personal selfish gain. And so as I created Love Gives Way, it really just started out as something I was going to do for just 1 year. I created a separate Love Gives Way wedding package for my wedding clients, and if they chose that package, a portion of the funds would be donated to a local organization that was fighting against sex trafficking. And as soon as I launched this, I found that there were a lot of other vendors that were emailing me and sending me Facebook messages and asking me how they could be a part of Love Gives Way. They were asking, how can I offer a Love Gives Way package? How can I be a part of this vision? They communicated to me that they have these gifts and these talents and these abilities that they want to be able to leverage for something greater, but they just didn't know what that was, and they really resonated with Love Gives Way. And so as a result, it became something bigger than what I had ever dreamed or thought that it would be. And we now have a team of vendors who all offer their own unique Love Gives Way package. So as brides and grooms consider who they want to invite in to help create that wedding day that they dream about and that they want to have and that they want to celebrate together, that they're able to partner with these vendors, whether it be one vendor or whether it be multiple vendors, to help create that for them, but at the same time make this massive difference in the lives of people who have been sexually exploited. So my hope would be that as you plan out your wedding day, that you would consider partnering with one or multiple of our vendors. And as a result, your one day is gonna affect and change the everyday of somebody who's been sexually exploited.